This is the CT Sports Town Show. My name is Christopher Saunders, and I'm pleased to have on a former, as though Waterbury is still his home of homes, but currently
Absolutely,
he's
yeah.
a former Waterbury guy because he's in Memphis right now as he's the quality controls special teams coach for the Memphis football program Division One, part of the AAC. Joe Begnal is with me. Joe, I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, man. Chris, appreciate you taking the time to get me on the show.
It's crazy to think about how time has really flown by. I remember the times when I still am calling games at Wilby High School for both, not just the NVL tournament, but, for Wilby games in general
Yeah.
for basketball. And I remember seeing you there, and it's crazy how time has now gone where going from that time to now
Yep.
being a Division I coach. I mean, do you ever think about that?
I do, man. It's still surreal to me sometimes. When I walk into our facility here, at Memphis and at a couple of other schools I was at, I just walk in and smile. I mean, it's a different world at this level. Facilities are awesome. It's just it's playing. Coming from Waterbury, playing Division III ball, and then making it where I'm at now it's pretty special and something that I'm extremely grateful for. But kind of like you were saying, man, just back a couple of years ago, I was helping out at Wilby, helping out my dad, working to try to make ends meet, and hopefully make it to where I'm at today. So it's a pretty cool deal.
Talk to me a little bit about your playing side. I know just in my conversations I've had with a former head coach of the NVL Pete Flamia, who was a
Hmm.
fantastic coach at career. Now,
Absolutely love Pete.
now he's the big dog. Now he's a VP, a very important
Yeah, yeah,
person at
yeah. Gotta
career.
move up sometimes.
Oh, always. I remember him telling me the when both of you coached at Post, he said you had such a cerebral mind when it came to the game of football, and he felt like that you had a real chance, and he believed that you would go far. And
Yeah.
obviously, that has now happened. Now I know you have higher expectations one day in the future.
Hmm.
You realize the kind of stuff. I'm sure he's not the only one. Do you realize the people that you have coached with who view you as that kind of person or close to that?
A little bit. I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great people. For me, I think it started at a young age. With my dad being a high school head coach for 25 or 30 years, however long it was. And just you know, I always had knowledge for the game. I always kind of just tried to learn everything I can. A couple stories. I remember being, God, probably in like seventh grade, sixth or seventh grade, when my dad was at Kennedy, and I remember being up in the press box. I used to go up to the top with them, with the guys up in the booth, and I remember. Forgot who they were playing, but they were playing soft coverage, and Kennedy was struggling a little bit to move the ball, and I'm like, all right, just run a backside slant to the single receiver, being just in seventh grade, and I kept like just annoying the guy up there, and finally he told my dad, and they called it, and it hit big. And so just little things like that where I always knew I had a good knowledge of the game, and I think that's what helped me as a player. I wasn't superly talented. I wasn't overly fast or big, but I had a great knowledge of angles and how to tackle, and like kind of what they were doing, pretty much. And also I remember me and my friend LaRon Zimmerman, we call him Mookie. He pretty much lived with me in high school, and I can't tell you how many times after games we would literally stay up till midnight or 1 a.m. just watching the tape over and over and over again. So I started at a young age for me, and it helped me get to where I'm at today.
Watching film is, and again, I think it's becoming more because let's be honest, technology has grown so much where you can upload film on Huddle. Kids can watch it within 5 minutes of the game, maybe a little bit
Oh yeah,
longer.
yep, yep,
But the point is, it's online very quickly. They can watch it on their phones, on the computer, whatever the case may
definitely,
be.
yep.
Um, do you think that the amount of film that you watched, not to say that you've seen everything known to mankind, because obviously the game of football evolves like crazy.
Hmm.
Do you think the film that you were able to continuously watch allowed you to kind of maybe pick up on tendencies that other players who did not watch as much could not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's being a student of the game is probably one of the biggest things that at this level, and college football just in general, to be successful. I mean, just those little tendencies of someone's alignment, someone's their stance or just anything along those lines that could give you the edge is crucial. And I use that to my advantage in college. Like I said, I was undersized, and most of the time I kind of knew what was going to happen before, and I was just all film prep. And now switching over to the special teams world, it's the punter's alignment or his tilt or the kicker's steps or the kickoff team's alignment. You kind of just study and watch it over and over and over again, and you kind of just learn different ways to look at it and different tendency that you get. So film is so crucial. I mean, you can't go out there. I mean, some guys can go out there and just be talented and do well, but most guys that watch film, you have the upper edge, and it's crucial.
I do remember a couple coaches at the special team side getting an opportunity, to be able to become head coaches, right? I mean, obviously Bill Belichick is the famous one,
Yeah.
Connecticut guy who coached, I think, or played at New Fairfield, Rich Bisaccia, who
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Packers, he was with the Raiders for some time. He was the interim when Gruden got let go.
Yep.
So special teams is such a crucial part of the game. I mean, remember a couple of years ago with the Packers and the Niners, what happened? The Niners were kind of losing. Remember, this was in the playoffs. I think it was the divisional round, and you had the block punt, and there was another teams play, and that was the deciding factor. So special teams is huge when it comes to the game of football.
It's crazy, and just like what you said with the block punt deal, there's a stat where if you block a punt, you have 90% chance to win the game. It's an even higher percentage of the turnover ratio. I think 3-1 turnover margin type deal. It's crucial, and the biggest thing with special teams is kind of like you were saying. A lot of those guys become head coaches. I think a lot of it has to do with the organization. There's a lot of organization that you got to do with special teams. There's if you really think about it, there's 8 special teams. You got the core 4: punt return, kickoff, field goal, punt return. Then you got field goal. Then you got field goal block. You got hands, onside. So if you think about it, it's really 88 positions. That has to be filled for every single game, every single practice. And there's a lot of logistics of moving guys around. This guy's hurt, he moves up. Then you gotta get the scout team. Then every week, it's just there's a lot that goes into it. Just behind the scenes, and it's for every position, but more so for special teams. And you kind of have to know every guy on the team, because you deal with all of them. Like some positions, if you're a tight end coach, you just deal with the tight ends. There's 5 or 6 guys. Special teams, I got to have a relationship with everyone, and I think that's the part that I love the most about it. It's you're involved the whole game with everything. Injuries, you're going through your sheet to make sure. Well, this guy was on 3 teams. Now I got to go find this guy. He moves up, and so I think that's the part that I love the most about special teams. It's just you're constantly in it.
And you also think about too the fact that because of special teams, you not only are trying to help out the offense but the defense because of controlling field position. If you block a punt or a field goal attempt. You could get the ball at the 50, the 40, 30, wherever the case may be.
Absolutely.
And then same thing with punts as well, because if you're able to pin that offense, the opposing offense inside their 10, you're forcing, I don't care whose offense you're going up against, you give your defense 90 plus yards to deal with.
Correct.
9 times out of 10 or whatever the number is going to be, you got to favor the defense there.
Definitely. And that special teams, man, it's the battle for field position. That's all those situations. There's a lot of situations of, like I said, the pin punts or the push punts, being backed up and trying to flip the field. That's all stuff that we work on. It's all stuff that, we hammer home every single week. And, that's a big part about special teams, man. It's you got to get guys to believe in it, and you got to get guys that, buy in to really, really help the team out, because it's such a team aspect, kind of like what you're saying.
Talk to me about the journey a little bit as far as some of the programs that you've been at, because I know you've been well traveled.
Yeah, man. So, I like to say I pretty much coached every level but the professional level. I helped out at coaching at Sacred Heart when I was in college with Chris Ortiz. He's been like a mentor to me. My dad coached him, and Chris is awesome. So I kind of helped him out anytime I came home throughout college. Then after I started playing college, I coached at Western New England, where I played at right away. I coached the outside backers there. And then from there, I went to Post University when I was with Pete, and that was spring football. So it's kind of unique, kind of a different deal. I was there for 2 seasons, which was great. And then from there, I kind of just wanted a change. I wanted to, just get away from the Northeast a little bit. And I went out to California. My college defensive back coach was out there coaching, so I went and coached with him for I think 6 months it was, and then I met this guy named Pat McAnally. He was a punter at Harvard. He scored a perfect score on the one look test. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals for like 13 years. So I got hooked up with him, and I coached with him for a year at Brethren Christian High School. We were pretty good. We went to the state championship game. We lost in a close game. From there, I went to Missouri, Lincoln University, Division II school, where I was a linebacker coach. That's where I got hired. And then I got promoted to defense coordinator right before the season. So I was there for a year, and just like any other, coach, you get fired. And, the head coach got fired throughout the season. We had a chance to stay. I decided not to. And then I decided to move back home and went to the University of New Haven, where I coached wide receivers for 3 years. First time coaching offense. So that was definitely different, but I loved it being, back home, close to family. So from there, I was full-time at New Haven. I was full-time Division II coach, and there was just something that I wanted more, and from there, I was right before COVID. I took the chance, and I went to go volunteer at Colorado State. I was lucky enough to have that opportunity. I was able to have that opportunity through my father. He played with Steve Adazio in college at Central Connecticut. And when Steve got fired at Boston College, he got the Colorado State job, and I was able to tag along there. So I was out there for the COVID season, and I was a volunteer. It was a whole different world, man. And Division I level, I fell in love with it right away. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I did whatever I can, and I got promoted to QC there. And then we got fired in a couple months after that. So from there, I went back home for a couple months, which brought me to the University of Idaho, because our tight end coach from Colorado State went to Idaho, and he brought me there with him. And then I was there last season. We had a great year with Coach Eck. And then after that, after the season in December, I went to Boise State. I was lucky enough to go to Boise State. And, being from, the Northeast, everyone knows who Boise State is. So it was like, at that point, I'm like, all right, this is a cool deal. I'm starting to make a name for myself, and I was excited to get there. I drove across country, got to Boise State. The special teams coordinator that was there that hired me left after 2 days. He took another job. So I kind of felt out of place there a little bit. It's part of the world, man. It's just crazy. And then, so I was there for 7 months. I was there from January until the end of June. And I got a phone call from Memphis. The special teams coordinator there, his name is Chris White, or his name is Chris White. His brother and I worked together at Colorado State, Brian White. And he called me. They had an opening. It was, better opportunity, back with guys that I know. And I jumped on it right away. And I've been here since I got here July 21st, man, and got right into it, and I'm loving it. Memphis is a great, great school. We got a great facility, great staff, great program. Coach Silverfield has been great. So I'm excited. I kind of want to stay here for a little bit, hopefully. I feel really comfortable here so far. And yeah, so it's brought me all over the place, man. And kind of like what we were talking about before. It's tough, being away from family, but I love it. It's been great so far.
I really hope you got your points for all the flyer miles that you flew.
I can't tell you how many trips I flew back and forth, and for vacations or certain things, weddings. It's been crazy. So
it's to hear about the places that you went, man. I mean, at any point you could have just said, I'm done.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna do this.
Yep.
Given the gestures, being like, okay,
Yep.
this is.
Yep.
I don't want to do this anymore. But there's something burning inside you
there is, man.
What is it?
It's so crazy, man, because it's there's so many times, like, you just get defeated, you get fired, or you get a promotion, and things just don't work out. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way I was raised. My both parents have always hard working. My grandfather had a big part in that. He just work ethic, do things the right way, things will work out. I think a big thing that I've learned is perseverance. I've had 15 surgeries. I had a lot of surgeries in high school. I had 8 surgeries in high school, knees and shoulders. I had a couple in college. I had total shoulder replacement done at the age of 30. And every time I had surgery, it was always like, maybe I can't play. No, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna keep going. And there's always that something inside me that I don't want to regret not doing something that I love. And I think, yeah, that's it, man. It's something that I love, and I can't picture myself doing something else. So I just keep plugging away, keep my head down, keep trying to do a good job wherever I'm at.
So does your doctor have a boat named after you?
So it's funny. I have his cell phone, on speed dial, and my whole family goes to him now. I always tell him, I said, listen, you got a new vacation home just because of me. So
That's funny. Well, it's funny because of that, not funny because of all the surgery.
No.
But it's great to be able to hear of a Waterbury guy or Waterbury woman to be able to
Yeah,
go outside Waterbury, because I know
definitely.
it's funny because I was having this conversation a couple days ago with a former high school basketball coach who coached in the NVL for a long time, and he was
Hmm.
saying how, and this goes not just for Waterbury, this goes for everybody,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you know kids think it's so easy to just leave and they talk and they're like, all right, I want to go, I want to do this, but then when it's time to put their what's the saying, put the tires on the road and all that other,
correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when they got to do it, some of them don't do it because they get nervous, they get anxious, they get homesick,
Absolutely.
yada yada.
Yep.
So it's not for everybody. So for you to have to make the sacrifices that you have and do what you've done, going to 7, 8 ways back to
Yeah.
Bacon, right? I
Yeah.
mean, how do you feel about going through all of that? If you don't mind me asking.
Uh, it's tough, man. It's you miss out on a lot of things. My sister, has 2 young kids right now, and I miss birthdays. My niece's third birthday is tomorrow, and I'm missing that. And those situations, are always tough. But I keep going back to I love what I do, and I can't picture myself doing anything different.
Mm.
And you definitely need support from family back home. I love Waterbury. I always love going back to Waterbury. I love, all my friends are there. I love all my pizza spots, my deli, stuff like that. I just love Waterbury. And, but it's, I always knew that I wanted more. And I knew I was going to have to sacrifice family time, friend time, to achieve my goals and achieve my dreams. And you just gotta do it. You just gotta go out there, experience something new, and it's been awesome. Just living all over the country has been great. And because of the sport, because of my profession, I would have never done that. I would have stayed in Waterbury. So
Yeah, I think it's awesome to hear that, Joe. And on top of it too, you could leave Waterbury, but Waterbury doesn't leave you, right?
absolutely, never
And
does.
I think the toughness. Now everybody could say that their town, their city has their own kind of toughness, but I feel like Waterbury's a little bit different for various reasons, and I think that kind of toughness helped kind of push you a little bit, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no question about it. It's especially kind of being a sports town, and playing at the Y, playing at the boys club, playing for the Waterbury Knights, Patriots. I mean, makes you tough. And you get your feet and everything. And I kind of learned a lot throughout the years coming up. And it's really and that part of it's helped me in this profession too, with guys from all different backgrounds. And Waterbury is unique. And I can't tell you how many places I've been. There's always somebody that knows Waterbury, Connecticut, whether it's the cross or
Yeah.
whether it's just it's the brass factory, something like that. But I always know someone that knows of Waterbury, Connecticut. So it's a cool deal to be from Waterbury.
Got to ask you really quick before I let you go, and I
Yeah,
appreciate you coming
absolutely.
on.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
you coached with Pete, and I've
Hmm.
said when he was coaching that the way he could schematically draw up defenses, and it's crazy because it wasn't anything fancy. He kept it so simplistic for the
Yep.
kids. They executed, and there was one year in particular, his I think final year that he coached. They were playing against Ansonia. They
Hmm.
didn't really have a quarterback. It was more like a wide receiver hybrid, but
Yep.
that defense kept them in the game and they were within striking distance up until late in the fourth quarter. But Pete's defenses were always very good, even when they
Hmm.
were 5-5, but they were never below 500.
I
Never.
hated going against Pete in high
So
school. He
what was
he
it
was
about it
hated.
defensively? Talk to me about what was about him defensively that he's just a whiz guy. How?
Yeah, Pete. So Pete's first year's coaching, him and his dad were at Kennedy with Coach Boland when I was at
Yes.
Cigar,
Yep.
and they used to get after me. And I was shorter guy playing quarterback. Again, not super talented, but smart enough to play it. Man, they used to get after me. I used to hate playing against Kennedy because they would cause problems. And Pete was sound, but he always threw little wrinkles in there, whether it was stunting or blitzing or something that had me confused. And I got sacked a lot versus Pete. But Pete's a hell of a coach. He's an even better person. And the kids relate to him. I think that's the biggest thing. With Pete is the kids love playing for him, and when they love playing for you, they're going to listen to everything you tell them, right? And when Pete is simple, his defense is simple. He does little things here and there. I think that's the biggest thing with Pete. It's those kids buy into him, and they do what he says. And he just is a great dude, great coach.
And he connects, like you said, he's real with them. Like kids want
Absolutely,
if
absolutely.
you're a goofball or a weirdo or a straightforward kind of guy, the kids
Yep.
would rather have that than have somebody who's this fake tough macho guy. And then when it comes time to go out and coach, you're a softie. You know what I mean?
Definitely, absolutely. Yeah, Pete's real. Pete's as real as it gets.
Well, yeah,
Straight shooter, especially from his dad too. So they're gonna tell you how it is, and I think it goes back to when you're real and the kids see that you're real, they buy in, and it's no different at this level. It's the same deal here. At the Division One level, it's kids buy into you, they believe in you, they're gonna do anything you ask them.
I
So
agree.
Pete's awesome.
And I think the saying of, oh, when you have a daughter, you get a little softer. No, no, tougher. He got much tougher.
I believe that. I definitely believe that.
But hey, Joe, awesome conversation. I could talk to you forever. I don't want to keep you away. You had a long
No,
day.
I appreciate it,
It
man.
was awesome to be
Anytime.
able. It was awesome to be able to talk with you and hear about your story. And
Yeah, no
I'm
problem.
happy to hear that you being at Memphis and being able to do your thing. And hopefully you can stay in one place, don't
Yeah,
go
yeah,
everywhere, and
yeah.
continue moving up the ranks. I think you will.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. It's been great to get on and talk to you guys, or talk with you, and looking forward to come back home and maybe seeing you at a Wilby game or something.
It would be awesome. Hey, if you ever are, you're welcome to come back up for
Yeah,
a halftime. Tables
I'll be
open.
home during Christmas time, and over the holidays, so I'll be by.
Stay in contact. I got you.
Will do, man. Absolutely. Take care, man. Appreciate it.
Always. I'll wrap things up here in the CT Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm Jeremy. Find them all. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.